Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carly and I run a handmade small business called Marie Lynn Made. And I figured we could do something fun this week, and I believe it's going to be beginner friendly, or maybe like a confident beginner, but it's going to be using 2 jelly rolls. That's what I have here, and it's going to be called the Jelly Roll Arrows Quilt Pattern, and I will put it in the description box below where I got it from. I got it from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I just got the digital version and just printed it out on my printer. That way I could get it right away and I didn't have to like wait for it to be shipped. But you can either do it with 1 jelly roll, or to get a larger size, you can do 2 jelly rolls. That's what I'm going to be doing. So you could do 1 or 2. And then a large lap, that's what I'm going to be doing, is 56.5 inches by 63.5 inches. And my printer wasn't doing that great. I just bought inked and filled it, so if I printed it again it would look better, but this is what we're going to be doing. And don't mind the colors on that because they used a different jelly roll than I did, and I got these from Tiny Spool & Co., and they are the cottage core, I guess, print. So yes, we are going to be starting on this quilt. I figured we could do something fun in between my markets here, because if you saw my last video, you know that I have quite a bit of product left over. So I don't have too much to do. I'm going to do a couple more of the scrunchy wristlets, and those are on the website now as well, and also the medium size essentials pouches, and I also put the large size essential pouches on there too. And I did update my Kindle and book sleeve listings as well. So those are all on the website, and that is listed down below too if you're interested. But yeah, we are going to get started on this, and I will open these up and show you guys the prints that are in this. And it has 40 strips, and they're 2.5 by 44 inches. So, and there's 20 different designs, so that would be 2 of each design. So I'm going to open these up and show you guys. Okay, so it says to have sets of 6 strips. These are going to be my 2 sets here, and because we're doing the large, I believe it says we're going to make 12 total. But if you guys are getting the pattern, you'll see what I mean. But we've got this set here, which is kind of like greens, and then this set here that's going to be more of like a pinky mauve red, and then just a little bit of color in between there. And these are just some extras that I had. So these are going to be my 2 sets, and we are going to sew the strips together. And I'm not going to worry about pinning anything at the moment. I'm just going to work like, you know, slowly and carefully to make sure like everything is aligned perfectly as we're sewing these strips together. And I think this is going to be super cute because there were a lot of different colors in the jelly roll. And I feel like I wanted to do like more of a green tone like set, and then like the red mauvey tones. And I think they go well together. You guys can do whatever you want. That's the good thing about like quilting and creating your own pieces. You can use your imagination and whatever you like. Unless it's like a commissioned piece, you know, you obviously want to do what the customer wants, but this is what I chose. So I'm just going to get started on sewing all of these strips together. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to, because you know, I just use normally the foot that came with my machine, but I do have my 1/4 inch foot that I'm going to use for this, because it did specifically say a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I was also thinking, with the foot that came with my machine, I could probably move the needle all the way like to the right, and that would be a 1/4 inch using that foot, but I haven't measured it or anything, so I'm just going to use my 1/4 inch foot that I bought for my Singer. Okay, so I've got my 4, how would you even say this? 4 sets of 6. That's what 4 sets of 6 of the green ones done. My goodness, my brain. And I just finished one of these like mauve maroon ones. I hope you can see that. Let me turn my light on. Let's see if you can see that a little bit better. probably not. It's in between like the sun setting and it's been gloomy. We've had some rain today, which we need. I'm very thankful for, but you guys might not be able to tell, but this set of 6 is done. So I've got 3 more of these like mauvey red tones to finish, and then we just have to cut them into the squares and sew them together. So let's get through these and I will show you guys like cutting them and stuff and making sure that they're the right size. Sorry, and I also forgot to mention, this is just me doing the quilt top. I haven't picked a backing yet and I haven't picked a binding. I think my binding is going to be some sort of like tan color, I'm thinking, because I don't want it to take away too much from these prints. But the backing I'm unsure of at the moment too. So this is just going to be me doing this quilt top until I figure out all of the binding and the backing. And once I do that, I'll show you guys, you know, the finished quilt later on down the road. But yeah, this is just going to be the quilt topper. And I just wanted to bring you guys along with me making this so we can do, like I said, something fun and, you know, have fun quilting and, you know, really make something that we enjoy doing. So yeah, anyways, we're going to finish these sets of 6 up. Okay, so now I've got all of the sets of 6 done, and we are going to flatten the seams out and iron it flat so that way we can cut them into our 12.5 inch by 12.5 inch squares, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we're going to iron this all flat. And I have to say, I think this is going to be so cute. So, and again, these are going to be like in the arrow forms. But what I was noticing, you can really put them whichever way you want. So let's see here. I'll show you. So this is kind of, if you get the digital copy and just print it out, but you could even like flip, because obviously they're going to be arrows, but you could flip them and make them almost like a diamond, I guess, or yeah. So I don't know, we'll see what we do. This is just kind of like the basis here, but I really like these two together. I think they're going to be super cute. So let's flatten these out, iron them flat, and then we'll cut them up. Okay, I was counting these because I have my 12.5 by 12.5 inch like square with the strips, and I was like, why? Because I'm making the large one and I needed 36 and I only have 24, 12 and 12, 24. So I needed to make 12 of the strips, and I only made 8 because I had 4 strips of the green and 4 strips of this like reddish mahogany burnt red color. So I have to make 4 more strips, right? Yeah, of the 6, 4 more sets of 6, and then that will give us and then I'll cut those down to make 3 out of each strip. That would be 12. Yeah, so okay, BRB, I'm going to make 4 more strips of 6. I'm going to go through the fabrics over there and see which ones I want to use. I was wondering why I had so many leftover fabric strips from the jelly roll. But yeah, this is why we go through these instructions and directions and all of that. So yeah, I'm going to make those strips real quick, and then I'll come back and we'll have all of our 12.5 by 12.5 inch squares. So don't make the mistake that I do. My math isn't mathing today, I guess. This is like really my first time going through a pattern rather than just like making my own and doing it that way. So yeah, I guess I didn't read down here, large lap, make 12 total. So I don't know, I only had 8, so I'm gonna make 4 more strips of 6 and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have all of my 12.5 inch by 12.5 inch squares. We needed 36, and I'm sure you guys were like super confused if you're following along with me and you're counting. You're like, you only have 8 and you need 12, and I'm not good at math right now, I guess. So, but we've got it fixed. We have 36 total squares. So what we're going to do, with 2 of them, putting right sides facing each other with the seams going in the opposite directions, stitch 1/4 inch from the edge around all 4 sides. Okay, so that's pretty easy. So let me scoot these out of the way, and we'll start with one here. We'll do those in a second. So we'll have one with the seams going that way, and then one with them going this way, and then we will stitch all around the outside there. Okay, so here are all of my squares, 72 squares, and I have them all in rows. So I think there's 8 across, and then there's 9 rows for the large lap that I'm doing. So I'm just going to go through the rows and sew all the squares together, and then we'll sew them like row by row together. And I kind of went off of this design. Not off of it, but like I did something different. So you guys will see at the end. But this is, I mean, you can do whatever you want. That's the good thing about quilting, and that's why I think that I love it so much, is like this is just going to be like a base for, you know, what you're doing, and like, you know, a learning aspect. But you can do the arrows, but I'll show you guys what I did at the end. It'll be like a fun little surprise. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on sewing all the rows together and then putting the rows together. So if that makes sense. So yeah, we're just going to sew them all together and then iron out the seams flat, and I will show you guys when it's finished. Okay, we've got it all finished here. So got all of the squares sewn together into rows, put all the rows together, and this is our finished quilt top. And let me show you guys what it looks like. All right, so as you guys could see, I went a little different than the pattern that it came with just the arrows. I kind of made like diamond shapes. I noticed that I think it was like 6 squares I had of the same, like with the outside pieces as well. But I just love how it came out, and I think it's so cute. And again, this is kind of something that, you know, it wanted you to do arrows all the way across, but use what you want to use and do what you want to do. That's the good thing about quilting, and that's why I think I love it so much, is like this is more of just like a base and how to make these individual squares there and then just put them however you want. So yeah, this is my finished quilt top, and this is one of the largest pieces I've made. I've done rag quilts before, but this is definitely my biggest project I've done. So, and then in the middle here somewhere, there was a row of just arrows because it was kind of like an odd number. There were 9 rows, so I had to do 1 row of just the arrows, but I think it came out super cute, and yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to like pick out a batting and then a binding and then really put this quilt together. And I will say, doing this on my Singer Heavy Duty, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So I think anything a little bit bigger would be a kind of a struggle, but we'll see how it does when I'm actually quilting all of it together. I know it can be done on a domestic home sewing machine, so I might take you guys along with me on that. It's going to take me a couple weeks, you know, to figure everything out. So yeah, I am so happy with it, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this week. And stay tuned for next Saturday, because we'll probably go back to a little bit of market prep. Like I said, I have to make a couple essentials pouches for the Watermelon Festival, and I did get a lot of new fabrics, so there's going to be new core collections of fabrics that we're going to have, as well as a small limited edition collection. So yep, I thank you guys for hanging out with me, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.